I could hear you breathing. Together.
We've only just begun. What exactly is the sand?
Guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Ladies Night 1 on Ultimate Custom Night. This challenge is pretty easy, but it can be overwhelming on paper because of the large amount of new animatronics to deal with. However, because of their low difficulty settings, they're all super easy to manage if you know what to do. In this guide, I'll be breaking down a very beginner-friendly route that allows you to deal with every animatronic without breaking a sweat. This is going to involve a bit of cam stalling, a bit of office stalling, and very basic and lenient GMB cycles. Don't worry if you're new to UCN, by the way, I'll be explaining what all of these techniques are and how to use them today. Alright, let's get into it. The very first thing that you'll be doing at the start of the night is turning on the power generator. Don't worry about the fan or wet floor sign, you'll be leaving them alone entirely for this preset. Next, raise the monitor and go to the duct system. Here, you'll want to place the audio on the center left, just like I do here, to stop Happy Frog. Once you've done that, switch back to the cam system, go to cam 2, and drop the monitor. Now, I want to clarify something real quick. You'll be leaving the monitor set to cam 2 for the rest of the night. You don't have to actually be looking at the monitor, just don't change to a different camera or system. Ever, for any reason. I don't care if your friend told you that you can unlock Toy Golden Nightmare Phantom Funtime Glamrock Freddy by going to cam 8 at 4:20 AM. Leave the camera and system buttons alone. Do not touch. Why exactly am I pushing this point over and over? Well, this is where cam stalling comes in. When Baby and Rockstar Chica appear on cam 2, they cannot enter the office as long as the monitor is set to cam 2. However, the instant that you go to a different camera or system, the cam stalling is no longer in effect, and more often than not, it'll result in a jump scare. There's no reason to go to a different camera on this challenge, so just leave it on cam 2 and save yourself the headache of plushies and wet floor signs, alright? Anyway, now that I've drilled that point into your head, let's talk about the other type of stalling, office stalling. This is pretty similar to cam stalling, except it works on a lot more animatronics. The goal in UCN is to only pull up the monitor when you absolutely have to. Not only does this save power, it also renders a majority of the animatronics unable to attack until you raise the monitor again. This is useful to ward off the vent animatronics currently active, which are Mangle and Witter Chica. Now, technically, it is possible to survive with both of them in the office from the very beginning, but that would mean that you're taking an unnecessary gamble, and we don't want that. So just sit in the office until the ventilation is about to go out. Once the office is a few seconds away from going completely dark, close the forward vent, raise the monitor, click reset ventilation, drop the monitor, and open the vent. Do all of this in order. Vent, monitor, reset, monitor, vent. If you do any of these actions out of order, you'll probably end up letting Mangle in or failing to reset the ventilation. Thankfully, on this reset, you can take it slow and do this over the course of a few seconds. Then go faster and faster as... Hey guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Ladies Night 1 on Ultimate Custom Night. This challenge is pretty easy, but it can be overwhelming on paper because of the large amount of new animatronics to deal with. However, because of their low difficulty settings, they're all super easy to manage if you know what to do. In this guide, I'll be breaking down a very beginner-friendly route that allows you to deal with every animatronic without breaking a sweat. This is going to involve a bit of cam stalling, a bit of office stalling, and very basic and lenient GMB cycles. Don't worry if you're new to UCN, by the way, I'll be explaining what all of these techniques are and how to use them today. Alright, let's get into it. The very first thing that you'll be doing at the start of the night is turning on the power generator. Don't worry about the fan or wet floor sign, you'll be leaving them alone entirely for this preset. Next, raise the monitor and go to the duct system. Here, you'll want to place the audio on the center left, just like I do here, to stop Happy Frog. Once you've done that, switch back to the cam system, go to cam 2, and drop the monitor. Now, I want to clarify something real quick. You'll be leaving the monitor set to cam 2 for the rest of the night. You don't have to actually be looking at the monitor, just don't change to a different camera or system. Ever, for any reason. I don't care if your friend told you that you can unlock Toy Golden Nightmare Phantom Funtime Glamrock Freddy by going to cam 8 at 4:20 AM. Leave the camera and system buttons alone. Do not touch. Why exactly am I pushing this point over and over? Well, this is where cam stalling comes in. When Baby and Rockstar Chica appear on cam 2, they cannot enter the office as long as the monitor is set to cam 2. However, the instant that you go to a different camera or system, the cam stalling is no longer in effect, and more often than not, it'll result in a jump scare. There's no reason to go to a different camera on this challenge, so just leave it on cam 2 and save yourself the headache of plushies and wet floor signs, alright? Anyway, now that I've drilled that point into your head, let's talk about the other type of stalling, office stalling. This is pretty similar to cam stalling, except it works on a lot more animatronics. The goal in UCN is to only pull up the monitor when you absolutely have to. Not only does this save power, it also renders a majority of the animatronics unable to attack until you raise the monitor again. This is useful to ward off the vent animatronics currently active, which are Mangle and Witter Chica. Now, technically, it is possible to survive with both of them in the office from the very beginning, but that would mean that you're taking an unnecessary gamble, and we don't want that. So just sit in the office until the ventilation is about to go out. Once the office is a few seconds away from going completely dark, close the forward vent, raise the monitor, click reset ventilation, drop the monitor, and open the vent. Do all of this in order. Vent, monitor, reset, monitor, vent. If you do any of these actions out of order, you'll probably end up letting Mangle in or failing to reset the ventilation. Thankfully, on this preset, you can take it slow and do this over the course of a few seconds. Then go faster and faster as you get more comfortable with the motion, because you're going to need to do that on later presets. These two techniques should eliminate the biggest threats of this night. The only other animatronic that tends to be a pretty big issue is Chica, who resides in the kitchen. Basically, she has a chance to stop making noise, at which point you only have a short time to change the music before she escapes. From that point, she can attack you randomly whenever you're on the monitor. Again, it is possible to survive the entire night with Chica out, but it's not optimal. By learning basic GMB cycles, you can prevent her from escaping in the first place without ever having to change the music. Zero risk involved. Chica has a movement opportunity every 15 seconds on the dot. 15.0, 30.0, 45.0, and so on. Your goal is to have the global music box on during those intervals. You'll be running the power gen for most of the night, but turning the GMB on for just a second as you approach a 15-second interval, then switching back to the power gen after it's over. If you time this correctly, Chica will never move. Super easy once you get the hang of it. That's pretty much it for the bulk of this strategy. After the initial setup, it's just being ready to turn on the GMB for Chica and closing the vent on Mangle and Witter Chica. Along the way, there's a chance that some of the other animatronics might pop up on lower AI settings that can cause some problems. The scariest of these is probably Ballora, who has a small chance to show up during this night. If you hear her music and see the lights start flickering, shut the door on the side she's on immediately. You'll need headphones for this, of course, but if you don't have them, you can always just close both doors at the same time. Toy Chica also has a chance to appear every now and then, and probably will at some point. When you hear the static whirring noise from FNAF 2 and see her closing in from the left side of the office, throw on the pretty mask until she goes away. The lights will also flicker, so don't confuse her with Ballora. JJ might appear in the side vent every now and then, and if she gets in, she'll lock your doors. This isn't a problem 99% of the time, but if you get really unlucky, Ballora might show up at the same time and kill you while you can't shut the door on her. It's a small possibility of her being dangerous, but I'd still recommend blocking JJ whenever you see her in the vent just in case. Scrap Baby has a small chance to appear slumped over your desk. Controlled shocks drain your power, so don't use it unless absolutely necessary. Keep an eye on her while you're in the office. If she's looking up and staring at you, shock her before you raise the monitor again and she'll go back to normal. Funtime Chica might pop up eventually, but don't worry, she's merely a distraction. Just focus on the rest of the game and don't worry about her. Lastly, Jacko Chica is also active. She's incredibly easy to deal with. All you need to do is make sure that the temperature never at any point gets above 90 degrees. I recommend just leaving the fan on for the entire night to eliminate her. You'll have more than enough power regardless. This might seem like a lot to handle, but the majority of animatronics are actually quite rare, just things to keep in mind in case they do show up and you need to react quickly. For the most part, there's only 3 things to focus on: pulling off the initial setup, never using the monitor with the vent open, and timing your GMB to deal with Chica. All in all, it should be pretty simple. Well, that's all for now. Follow the strategy, and you should be able to beat the 6 preset challenge. Was this challenge super easy for you, or was it kinda tricky? It seems to be a bit of a mixed bag, so let me know in the comments. Speaking of which, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below or to join my community Discord server. By joining the Discord server, you can get personalized tips on any FNAF game from myself, TruePlayer, Shooter25, and a bunch of other FNAF experts and content creators. It's a great community, and I highly recommend joining.
Yar, who touched me bird?
You and I don't get to talk as often as I'd like. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. I know how much you like to fight, so I'll add a new problem to your night.
Yar, me bird likes you, so I'll do ye a favor.
Now I will tell you a story.
Uh-oh, how unfortunate. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. I'm gonna do a sneaky thing and throw a new contender in the ring.
But he could not choose.
Yarg, how may I be of service to ya? Yar, who touched me bird?
But he could not choose.
Yar, what can I do for ya?
He pieced the remains together.
Get the Google Pixel.
Gen employs the audio alert in the duct system in the exact same. Hey guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Creepy Crawlies 1 and 2 on Ultimate Custom Night. While these presets are fairly straightforward, they do force you to switch between your tools often, namely the power gen, the fan, the heater, and the global music box. Thankfully, there is a way to eliminate one of those tools with just a bit more effort. Today, I'll be giving you two slightly different strategies and letting you pick which one you think is best for your playstyle. While these strategies do work on both presets, the second one has a slight variation in Creepy Crawlies 2, which we'll talk about later, so be sure to stick around. The first strategy makes use of the death coin to eliminate the puppet. You might want to choose this strat if you're used to farming coins, like if you used my guide for Ladies Night 3, or if you want to opt for a harder setup to make things easier for yourself later on. At the start of the night, turn on the power gen, flip up the monitor, and place the audio alert right here in the duct system. Then go back to the cam system and flip through the cameras, collecting the coins that appear. Once you've collected a total of 10 coins, go to cam 7, buy the death coin, go to cam 4, and use it on the puppet. You can now drop the monitor and finish the setup. This might not sound too tricky, but you've got to be careful. You'll have to go fast to execute this setup before any of the other animatronics show up and before Music Man activates. On top of that, Woodard Bonnie has a chance to appear every 13 seconds. If you hear a mechanical whirring noise and see the light flicker, drop the monitor immediately and put on the Freddy mask until he fully goes away. No matter what you're doing on the monitor, drop it and deal with Woodard Bonnie first. You can always finish it after. From this point, you can keep the power gen and fan on until Music Man begins crashing his cymbals, at which point you'll need to turn them both off until the cymbals stop. Now, before moving forward, I'll go ahead and explain strategy 2. This consists of a much quicker setup and a consistent cycle throughout the rest of the night. You'll still want to turn on the power gen and place the audio alert in the duct system in the exact same place, but once you finish that, you're good to go. Keep the power gen and fan running until 40 seconds into the night, then turn off the fan and switch to the GMB for the next 20 seconds. Repeat this every minute. Run the power gen and fan for the first 40 seconds of the minute, then the GMB for the remaining 20, and repeat. This will take care of the puppet while also ensuring that Music Man never has a chance to attack. Repeat this throughout the night. From now on, the strategies basically merge. Just remember, if you death-coin the puppet, turn off the power gen and fan until the cymbals stop crashing. If you didn't, stick to the cycles. Keep doing this until the ventilation starts going out. About 10 seconds after the warning signs appear next to the monitor, turn on the heater for 3 seconds, then go back to the tool that you were using beforehand. If you were using the GMB, you might want to run it for a few extra seconds to compensate. Ideally, you should turn on the heater during a power gen cycle, just so you don't have to deal with the GMB for a bit longer and throw off the timings. If you have to do it slightly early, that's alright. This is another benefit of depth-pointing Puppet just to eliminate this scenario. After you finish using the heater and switch tools, close the forward vent, lift the monitor, reset ventilation, drop the monitor, and open the vent. Be sure not to close the vent too late or open it too early. It needs to be shut the entire time that you have the monitor up. You don't have to do this insanely quickly like you might see on some 50-20 runs, so don't worry. Take it at your own pace. It's better to lose a slight amount of power than make a deadly mistake and let Mangle or someone else in. By simply repeating the strategy, no matter which setup you decide to use, you should be able to get through the night without much trouble. Just remember, cycle between the power gen with fan and GMB without fan if you still have Puppet on.
Yarg, how may I be of service to ya? Yarg, how may I be of service to you?
Think you can outsmart AI?
Here, today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Nightmares. Hey guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Nightmares Attack on Ultimate Custom Night. While this preset may seem very intimidating at first, it's actually quite easy once you know what to do. It just involves managing the noise and temperature well and using a few simple tricks. Let's begin the night. First off, it's best to not use the power generator at all during this night. It's just unnecessary and comes with a risk of aggravating lefty and music command, which will give you much bigger problems. However, you don't need to use the global music box either. Just keep the temperature under 80 and the noise meter pretty low at all times. At the start of the night, flip up the monitor, go to cam 2, and drop the monitor. You'll be staying on cam 2 for the rest of the night. I repeat, set the monitor to cam 2 and do not change the camera or system for any reason ever. If you do, the strategy won't work and you'll have no one to blame but yourself. From this point, keep your mouse to the left side of the screen in the same position as I do during this gameplay. This will protect you from Nightmarian. For the entire run, if you're not in the cameras, your mouse should only ever be in two places. On the left for the majority of the night, and in the bottom right over where the reset ventilation button appears when you're getting ready to reset. If Nightmarian ever appears, be ready to flick your mouse to either side of the screen as quickly as you can. Turn off the fan and keep a close eye on the temperature. Once it gets to 80 degrees, turn the fan back on until it hits 60 again and repeat throughout the night. This will keep both Lefty and Jacko Chica at bay. Next, take a glance at Nightmare BB. If he's standing up, turn to the right and flash him with the light before the next cam flip. If he's not, just leave him alone. This is something that you should get in the habit of doing after every cam flip. Never do a cam flip unless you need to reset ventilation after you do the initial setup, of course, and if you hear screeching, you can also flash the throttles on the left, but as long as you're quick enough on the cameras, you should be okay even if you ignore them completely. From this point, just focus on managing the temperature. When it gets close to 80, turn on the fan. When it hits 60, turn the fan back off. Simple as that. Eventually, the ventilation will start fading out. Wait until the office gets pretty dark, then shut the forward vent and pull up the monitor. Reset ventilation, drop the monitor again, then open the vent back up. You can also listen for Molten Freddy's laughter and just close it on and then, but doing it every cam flip no matter what eliminates the need to listen for a sound cue and might make things a bit easier to focus on. Just make sure that you don't close the vent too late or open it too early. After you drop the monitor, throw on the Freddy mask as quickly as possible. There's a chance that Golden Freddy might have spawned in your office, and if you're really unlucky, Woodard Bonnie could have as well. Just put on the mask and they'll both go away. Come to think of it, you should probably do that for the very first cam flip at the start of the night as well, just in case. Well, I wish I had more to say on the matter, but that's really all there is to it, at least as far as the basic pattern goes. Now, there are a few extra complications that could arise at some point, so here's how to deal with them real quick. First up is Scrap Baby. She'll randomly appear in front of you after a cam flip. Don't panic, there's no need to do anything about her just yet. Like Nightmare BB, take a glance at her every cam flip, and if she's looking at you, shock her using the button on the desk, and she'll go away for good. Next is Nightmare Fredbear and Nightmare. If you have the monitor open on a 5.0 interval, there's a chance that they could spawn at either door. Listen for their laughter on either side, and after a cam flip, check for their eyes staring at you from the doors. If one of them is at the door, shut it in its face and open it back up once you hear a butt. Well, that's pretty much it. This may seem like a complicated challenge at first, but it's actually very straightforward once you know what to do. Just manage the temperature, keep the noise down, put on the Freddy mask when you need to, and only do a cam flip if you absolutely have to when the ventilation starts going out. Oh, and remember, keep the monitor set to cam 2 at all times. I keep getting a ton of comments from people getting killed by Nightmare Bonnie, Baby, or Nightmare Mangle, and I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself, but guys, please, it drives me crazy. Do not change the camera for any reason ever. It can and will get you killed. Anyway, just follow this strategy and you should be able to beat the 11th preset challenge. How was this one for you? Was it pretty straightforward or a little bit tricky at first? Let me know in the comments. Speaking of which, keep an eye out for a huge community poll in the next few days. I'm going to be doing another live stream right here on YouTube very soon, and I'll be doing a poll on which FNAF fan game I should play for the first time on stream. Don't miss your chance to vote on the game and see the time and date of the stream. I normally don't say this, but please consider subscribing if this guide helped you out and if you're excited for the stream, because
but he could not choose. He promised them to never leave them. But he could not choose. not choose.
Yar, who touched me bird?
He pieced the remains together.
Yarg, how may I be of service to ya?
He promised them to never leave them. but he could not choose.
Char, what can I do for you? Yar, who touched me bird?
But he could not choose. He pieced the remains together.
Yar, who touched me bird? Yar, who touched me bird?
He pieced the remains together.
Yar, who touched me bird?
will tell you a story.
バスケットをぶつけたと思うか？彼らはものすごく怒っていて、水に放り投げられると同時に彼らは私のために来る。ひどい匂いも。私が最後に過ごした時、私はそこに沈んだ。私がそこにいる間、私はビジョンを持っていたと思う。私は私の先祖にあった。彼らは生きていた時代がどんなに優れていたのか。そして最近は子供たちが権威を尊重せず、ビデオゲームに明け暮れ、ポテトチップスを食べる様子を教えてくれた。尊敬も規律もなし。私は彼らに不平を言うのをやめるように言った。私は人生において先祖のビジョンを探してきた。そしてついに、とても辛く、体も痛むので深い集中が必要になるだろう。私はそれが嫌だ。私は毛布が欲しい。だから私は毛布を取る。私は誰が言っているか気にしない。もし私が私と一緒に毛布を持っていたいなら、私は自分自身を
誰かここから下ろしてくれ。
氷の上のブリトーのように振り回すことができる。それが私がやることだ。私はしばしば昼寝するだけだが、私はまだそこで仲介することができる。彼はあまりにも多くのものを持っていた。それは本当だが、それは彼がとても悪臭を目覚めさせた理由ではない。
Guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat old friends on Ultimate Custom Night. This is often considered to be the hardest preset challenge in all of UCN, and for good reason. A lot of incredibly tricky characters are enabled here, some of which typically aren't turned on until as far as 4920. Between characters that are dangerously luck-based and characters that require a lot of game knowledge to master, this is definitely one of the tougher presets out there. As such, there's more than one way to tackle this one. There's actually 4 different common strategies: defcoining Toy Freddy, defcoining Foxy, defcoining the Puppet, or not defcoining anyone at all. All of these strategies do have their advantages and disadvantages, but I'll mostly be sticking to Toy Freddy defcoin route today, since it is the most consistent way to win for a good player. Jumping into it at the start of the night, disadvantages, but I'll mostly be sticking to defcoining the Puppet, or not defcoining anyone at all. All of these strategies do have their advantages and disadvantages, but I'll mostly be sticking to Toy Freddy defcoin route today, since it is the most consistent way to win for a good player. Jumping into it at the start of the night, turn on the power gen and turn off the fan. Now, quickly go to cam 8 and block off Toy Freddy, go to cam 7 and drop the monitor. You may want to close the side vent after you block Toy Freddy if you're not going super fast, for reasons that I'm about to explain. Now, let's talk coin farming. If you've used a def coin in any of the previous challenges, you probably think that coin farming is moving from camera to camera, collecting coins that pop up. Well, yes, that is coin farming, but it is not the only way to coin farm, nor is it the fastest or the safest. Instead, we'll be using the type of coin farming used on high-end modes like 5020, flipping the monitor up and down to force BD to appear, then blocking him with the side vent. Each time we do this, it grants 1 coin. The pattern is simple. Flip the monitor up, then as soon as the image of the camera displays, flip it back down, close the side vent until you hear a thud, open the vent back up, then rinse and repeat. Do this until you have 10 coins, then buy the death coin on cam 7. Use it on Toy Freddy, go to cam 2, and reset ventilation, then drop the monitor again. You want to get this all done before 30 seconds or so if possible. If you do not do it in time, you're probably going to want to close the left door and the forward vent until you do get it done, because at that point, Freddy, Mangle, Springtrap, all of them become a risk. Also, keep in mind that if you death coin Toy Freddy after he's already gotten the game over, it won't work, so blocking him off at the start of the night is crucial here. As usual, after this, we'll be staying on cam 2 for the rest of the night. Don't change cameras or systems ever. The next thing that we should talk about is GMB cycles. If you watch my Ladies Night guides, then you'll already know how Chica works. In short, the GMB needs to be on every 15 seconds to prevent her from escaping the kitchen. With the addition of the puppet, you'll have to keep the GMB on for longer and manage your cycles much more carefully. The trick is to run the GMB for about 16 seconds with the fan off and run the power gen with the fan on for about 14 seconds. This will ensure that the puppet and Chica both stay docile. You want to hit 2 Chica timings with each GMB cycle, so run it from 14 seconds to 31 seconds, then again from 44 seconds to 101, and repeat that for every minute throughout the night. It takes a bit of practice to get used to, but it will work eventually. Just keep a close eye on the time and make sure to never run the fan at the same time as the GMB. Hey guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Chaos 1 on Ultimate Custom Night. While the other preset groups typically have some sort of theme to them, the Chaos challenges do not. Well, technically they do, it's just that the theme is random bullshit go. Seriously, each of these challenges are completely different from each other, and the first on the list is an interesting one. While it might seem intimidating at first with tricky characters like Toy Freddy and the Puppet enabled, it's important to remember that most of the animatronics are on a lower difficulty setting, making them easier to manage. Real quick, before we get into it, you guys know that I usually don't like promoting things at the start of the video, I usually save it for the end, but this is for a pretty good cause. I'm going to be doing a 12-hour charity stream tomorrow starting at noon CST. It's going to be for the Samaritans, which is an awesome charity focused on mental health, and a lot of big names in the FNAF community are going to be there, such as DJ Sturf and Toy Bon Bon Games. Anyway, if you have any spare time on that day, please make sure to stop by. Even if you can't donate, it would be awesome to have more people supporting the stream. Hope to see you there. Back to the topic at hand here, Chaos 1 is a pretty easy challenge once you get used to it. At the start of the night, turn on the power gen, flip up the monitor, and place an audio lure right here in the duct system. After you've done that, go to cam 8 and block off Mr. Hugs, then start flipping through the cameras and searching for coins. Toy Freddy is entirely dependent on RNG, and we want to eliminate that to have a consistent strategy. Once you get close to 13 seconds into the night, flip down the monitor until the 13.0 interval passes. The reason why we do this is to avoid Withered Bonnie, and especially Rockstar Bonnie, who have a chance to spawn on every 13-second interval and can complicate a run. If you screw up, you'll have to throw on the mask until Withered Bonnie goes away, or search cams 1, 2, 6, and 8 for Rockstar Bonnie's card near the bottom left corner, both of which consume valuable time. Speaking of time, use the time that you have the monitor down, avoiding these intervals to get rid of the frettles that might be accumulating in your office, as Nightmare Freddy is always a dangerous possibility. Throughout the sequence, you'll also need to listen closely for sound cues at the doors. Make sure to use headphones for this because a lot of them are directional. If you hear Ballora, shut the corresponding door until you hear a thud. If you hear deep laughter, shut the door it's coming from, wait for the thud, same deal. If it gets to 29 seconds and you hear loud banging, close the side vent on Scrap Trap. Once you manage to collect 10 coins, go to cam 7, buy the death coin, and use it on Toy Freddy. If this takes a while, you may want to check if Mr. Hugs has moved and block him off again once you get to around 20 seconds. Also, make sure to dodge the 26-second interval for the Bonnies. Once you complete the death coin sequence, the rest is pretty chill. Chaos 1 is really down to 3 basic skills, which are being able to pull off a relatively quick opening, knowing which GMB cycles you need to use, and having good reaction time. We'll talk about GMB cycles next. Once you get to the 40-second interval, you'll switch to the GMB and turn the fan off, and you'll do that for the next 20 seconds. It's really that simple. Use the power gen and fan for 2/3 of a minute, and the GMB for the other third. With the puppet only being on 5 AI, it's super lenient and allows you to do these really relaxed cycles. Music Man also shouldn't ever activate, but if he does, just switch off the power gen for a bit and wait until the GMB cycle. That should be enough to quiet him down. You'll spend the first 40 seconds of the night just like how you started it, with the power gen and fan both on. Once the ventilation starts failing, reset it as you please. This is one of the most chill challenges in terms of how to pull off a reset, since you just kinda flip the monitor and do it. As long as you avoid Rockstar Bonnie on those 13-second intervals, you're good to go. You don't need to close any doors or vents unless you're reacting to an animatronic that just appeared there. Speaking of which, a big part of this challenge is having decent reaction time. When the lights start flickering, it means you need to close something, fast. If it's music, close the door that it's coming from. Again, headphones are massively helpful for this, but you can also just close both doors at the same time. Once you hear a thud, you can open the door back up. You don't need to wait for Ballora's music to fade out, unlike Sister Location. If you hear a lot of loud noises, close the side vent as quickly as you can and wait for the thud there too. It's important not to panic here and just get good at reacting to after. A good way to do this is by learning some other key timings, which is what we'll talk about next. These are fundamentals for 50-20 and other high-level modes, so pay attention if you ever plan on attempting that. I've already mentioned that Withered Bonnie and Rockstar Bonnie both have a chance to spawn on every 13-second interval. For reference, here's every possible time that they can spawn. Avoid ever having the monitor loaded when these intervals happen. If you close it at 12.9 or open it at 13.1, you'll be fine, but never have it open on that even timing. If it's in the opening or closing animation, you're safe, but if the monitor is loaded and displaying an image, then you're in danger. This is your bread and butter for this challenge. You don't need to memorize every single one of these timings, but it's worth knowing the first few, and especially the last one, since that's super close to when most players do the last cam flip.
We all know how janky some game maker tools are. I'm gonna be on.
Other than that, just get a feel for it. Those are probably the most important intervals in UCN overall, but there's quite a few others on this run. I'm gonna throw a bunch of stats at you, feel free to pause the video after each one and take some time to process them. Keep in mind that all of these timings are exactly on the dot. Some of these are only true if the animatronic is on 20 AI as well. Ballora has a chance to spawn every 14 seconds and will kill you 2.8 seconds after spawning if not blocked off. Scrap Trap has a chance to appear every 29 seconds and will kill you 1.1 seconds after spawning if not blocked off. He can also only attack once per night. Watching Cam 8 while Toy Freddy is still there every 10.0 interval will prevent Mr. Hugs from moving, stalling him out. Once he does escape, Toy Freddy has a 10% chance to attack on every 0.0 or 0.5 interval if the monitor is up and loaded. Every 5 seconds if the monitor is up, Nightmare Fredbear and Nightmare both have a chance to spawn and will attack 3.3 seconds after spawning. Unlike the others, however, they are office stallable, so you can wait them out as long as you need if you just close the doors on them before opening the monitor again. L-Chip's ads have a chance to appear every 10 seconds, and Funtime Chica has a chance to appear every 35 seconds. Rockstar Foxy's parrot has a chance to appear every minute on the dot, and on 20 AI, he has a 1 in 3 chance of being friendly instead of killing you. Rockstar Freddy has a chance to activate every 30 seconds, and if he hits it, he'll wait until the next time you drop the monitor to do so. He can only activate once in that window too, so if you do a cam flip at 0.59 after paying him, he'll never activate, but if you do it after 101, he has a chance to. This can be carried over to the next interval as well, so let's say he activates at around 45 seconds. If you just wait 15 seconds until you get to 1 minute and then you pay him or overheat him, he won't be able to activate again until 1:30. When you use the heater to give him the malfunction instead of paying him, he has a 1 in 3 chance to deactivate every second. Most of this information is